All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. Today, I have a guest, Jay from Echoes from Above. So, someone just told me about his channel, and I started watching some of his videos. This guy's hilarious, and his analysis is spot on from my perspective. So, I saw that he kind of started his channel more recently, like mine, and I think this guy's going to be huge because he's got all the things you need. He's got, the videos are good, they're funny, and they're informative, most importantly. So, I'll leave it to him to introduce himself then.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Yeah, so I go by the name of Echoes from Above. He called me Jay because my real name is Jason. So for those who don't know, and yeah, most of my channel is geared towards a little bit of a mixture. There's a little bit of crypto in there. There's a little bit of economics in there. Stock market, stocks that I believe are good buys, and also exposing grifters. And yeah, that's mostly what I do on my channel, and I absolutely enjoy it.
Yeah, similar. We don't do a lot of stock market discussion on my channel, but it's the same thing. I think there's so much garbage out there in this space, unfortunately.
Yep.
And I think a lot of times I think they're worst when they try and come off as being professionals.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So people fall into that trap of thinking that they're giving legitimate analysis when they're really just leading people down down the path of destruction, more or less, oftentimes.
Yeah, I call it mud, as she wrote.
Yeah.
the path of your portfolio getting mud, as she wrote.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
All right, well, let's get it started, man. What is from your perspective right now? Because I see a lot of people, I don't watch so much the stock market side. I mean, for my personal investment, I do, but I don't watch YouTube content from that side as much. So in the crypto market, you have so many people that are established names talking about, we're going to new all-time highs later this year once the Fed starts to pull back on their hawkish tone that they have right now. From your perspective, where are we at right now and what's coming, in the months ahead?
I think people who are bullish and think that the crypto market is going to new all-time highs are insane. I'm sorry. I think that's absolute insanity, and I think most of those people have some sort of ulterior motive,
right?
Because I don't know if they're trying to sell their courses, they're trying to get you in their Discord or Patreon, but anybody with a basic understanding of crypto markets and economics would know that no, it's going to be a bumpy ride, and we need more people who are going to tell people the truth. We already had an insane bull run. Like, I 12x'd my money in Cardano. I bought it at 17 cents and the thing went to $3. How much higher do you guys think we're going to go?
Yeah.
Like, no, I honestly, will we eventually reach all-time highs? Yes, that's the optimistic part. Eventually, in the long term, we will reach all-time highs. Are we going to do that this year? Heck no. That's just my opinion. And the biggest thing I want to bring up is quantitative tightening, because the last time the Fed did quantitative tightening, the crypto market did not seem to like that. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens this time, because one thing we know about crypto, there's a crap ton of leverage in there. So when that liquidity gets pulled out, what's going to happen? We don't know. I don't know, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, liquidity makes the crypto market. I mean, it makes all the markets go around. This is a debt society, but liquidity makes the crypto market especially go around. I mean, if you look, when did the crypto market, especially this cycle in particular, when did it start moving? It was after all that magical liquidity started getting pumped into the market, after people started making their meme stock money, after the crypto or the stock market started going just gangbusters, basically.
Exactly.
So I think people are really underestimating what that's going to mean for this market. And every time I hear people saying that, I just heard probably easily one of the top 3 or 4 crypto YouTubers doing a video talking about we're going to 80K later this year. And I'm just, for Bitcoin. And I'm just, I mean, maybe he's right. But because you can never be definitive about the markets. But when you look at it statistically, I just think that's insane, because there's nothing to suggest that, that's what's coming. From my perspective, anyway.
Yeah, I actually think the opposite. I think Bitcoin's probably going to go lower. They think it's going at 80K. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go back to 8,000. I really wouldn't. Yeah. And I know people don't like to hear that, but the optimistic part is if you play this wisely and you just be patient, you'll get some awesome opportunities to buy a great asset. I had Bitcoin in 2019. I haven't owned it since then. this next Bitcoin, I don't want to call it a crash, but like correction or bear market, I plan to start loading up on Bitcoin again. And I think that's the wise thing to do. And people got to understand that Bitcoin runs in, well, not Bitcoin, but crypto runs in cycles. And I just think this is the end of the cycle. I really do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you there. So, that kind of leads me into my next question then. What's your general outlook on the crypto market? I mean, do you think there's a future for the space, or, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm bullish. Even though I'm a traditional finance guy, most of my money is in stocks. I got about 8% of like my net worth in crypto. I'm not one of those old folks like Warren Buffett who just hates crypto. I actually see a lot of value in it. So I'm bullish on crypto long term. I just think that right now, this is what I honestly think. I think right now, crypto is still new, even though it's been around for like 10, 12 years, whatever, however long it's been. It's still relatively new as a asset class. And I think it's going to take some time for society to figure out where exactly it fits. And I think once we figure that out, on top of regulation, it's going to be very bullish for crypto. And I really do think that crypto is here to stay. I really do. And
yeah.
I think there's a lot more value to crypto than people just buying it because they think it's going to go up. Right. I really do. Like, I'm in Cardano for more than that. I actually believe in what the founder believes in with his project and where he's going. So that's why I own Cardano. Cardano is not something that, if it goes to $3, like some people might think I'm stupid. When Cardano ran to $3, I 12x my money. Did I take some profits? Yes. But did I sell all of my Cardano? Heck no. I still own a bunch of it because I believe in the project.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I completely agree. Hey, Jay, just to quickly let you know, you got a little static on your side.
Okay, glad you let me fix that real quick. Hold on.
I think it's already sounded better, I think. But
yeah. How are we looking now?
Good. Yeah,
good.
That's kind of what I think as well. I think the people that they're getting into these markets that come in, it kind of goes the same way in every market cycle. People come in right when they shouldn't be getting out, right when things are going to the moon, which is everyone's favorite saying in this space.
It's the FOMO.
Yeah, and that's exactly the opposite of what you should be doing. I've done a lot of analysis. What we do on this channel, a lot of it's based around statistical analysis of, we do like machine learning models and things like that. I don't know how much you've seen, but all of the profit to be made does not come in January 2021. It comes in, March of 2020 and 2018, right after it dumps. Right when everyone's gone is right when you should be into the market, and then you should be out of the market once it's on the news. Yeah, and it's funny. That's kind of the opposite of what everyone does. But as a use case in particular, are there any, I don't want to put you on the spot, but are there any particular branches of the crypto market that you see going forward as being more profitable? And I mean that in terms of profitable because they have a use case, not profitable just because people FOMO into it.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I personally really like Ethereum. I personally really like Cardano. I try to stick to the projects that have real legit development teams behind them with an actual legit plan that I think actually makes sense and can work. And so, that's kind of where I'm looking at. Like, I'm very careful in the cryptos I choose because I'm actually of the opinion that 99% of all cryptos are trash. Yeah, I think there's just 1% that are good, and it sucks that it's turned that way. But yeah, you got all these crazy people creating all these crappy cryptos. It just,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of it is junk, and that's why on the channel we pretty much focus only on the big names, because a lot of this, fringe stuff, it essentially, and that's not to say all of it does, because there's always going to be, that thing you've never heard of before that is going to be revolutionary in the space. But that thing's extraordinarily difficult to find. If we could all find that, we'd be on a yacht right now and not not making YouTube videos. Yeah. So, well, what about back to the stock market? What are your views there going forward? Is it the same kind of thing, essentially?
Yeah, crypto and stocks are both going to be affected by the Fed and the entire macroeconomic environment. Crypto is a little harder for me because I understand stocks so much better. Right. So I can't make too many predictions on crypto, but I know that the market is smart enough where when things turn, the market will figure it out. The market will figure it out, and they'll pivot because markets are forward looking. But I think that time is nowhere near right now. I think we got a lot of pain ahead, and I think there's just too much uncertainty now for the market to even figure out what's going on. I mean, we've got some serious stuff coming up. We got the CPI print coming up, which is going to tell us how inflation is looking. I think the Fed is going to continue to be more hawkish, especially since we just got that jobs report, which turned out positive, surprisingly. I didn't expect that, but not good.
I'll tell you, interestingly, perhaps paradoxically for the crypto market, I think a good jobs report could ultimately be a bad thing, because that puts the Fed, that helps them laser in on that hawkish tone, because, the better the economy's doing, they need to slow down the economy. If they want there to be a reduction in inflation numbers, it has to happen by essentially, at least on some level, a reduction in wealth. Because if people keep, if wealth keeps being generated, then, your demand side, the demand side of the equation remains the same, and inflation doesn't decrease that way. That doesn't change. They can't affect the supply side of the market. The only thing that they can affect is the demand side. And so that's going to come from the stock market. That's going to come from crypto markets, reduction in wealth in that way. So, it will be interesting. Do you kind of have any thoughts about how far or how long a sort of a market drawdown may go? And I know that's a loaded question, because that's another one of those, types of questions where no one knows the exact answer to. But.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely can't predict, but I can at least give an opinion. I think it's going to be a bad summer. I think the summer is going to be bad. We could possibly get a turnaround in fall, maybe, but I doubt it. I think fall probably going to be even worse. I think people keep forgetting too that this is a midterm year, which makes things even more complicated.
Right.
And so it's like my mind, right, is telling me that maybe after the summer things might actually get better, but my gut is telling me that the entire year is going to be bad. Whole year going to be bad.
Yeah, completely agree. I kind of, do you think we head into a recession?
Yes, 100%. This is, it's crazy because this is actually like one of the most obvious recessions we've ever seen. Like normally they come out of nowhere, but this one is just like so obvious, which is actually good, believe it or not, because you can actually prepare for it.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, you definitely want to prepare for it.
I completely agree there. I think there's a lot of these things kind of behind the scenes but they're not, they're not tricky things. It's like credit card debt is on the rise, for instance.
Yes.
You can see these metrics, one layer deep. It's not even like you need to do a lot of digging to find them. These are obvious metrics that everyone can see that are sort of starting to pile up.
Yep.
And I think it's it's not evident yet in the economy, but I think 3 or 6 or 9 months down the road, it's going to all catch up with people, and then it's going to come due. I recently saw an interesting stat. It was on some other YouTube channel. I can't remember where I saw it actually, but delinquency in the credit card market, it's not in like the top 100 banks where delinquencies are on the rise. So everything looks fine there, but it's when you get outside of the top 100, the delinquencies are just rapidly increasing, and these are going to tend to be the lesser well off in in society, people that are having to they can't go to Chase to get a credit card, so they have to go to some whatever, like a
Capital One or something.
Yeah, exactly. They need to
like
go
that.
to somewhere that will give credit to those with poor credit scores. And delinquency rates were pretty static there for quite a while, but now they're rapidly rising. And I think that's sort of the undertow in the economy, where once that starts to build up, it's going to extend to other places. And I think that's all eventually going to come due. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about it, in spite of, like you said, it's really obvious what's going on right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I agree. I think some of the things that you're seeing right now are going to actually like manifest in the next like several months or, 3, 6, 9. I 100% agree with you. That's why I keep telling people, people get really mad at me and they're like, you're so bearish. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm honest. Because if you actually look at my channel a few months ago, I was actually bullish. Like I was actually a little late to the party. Like I was still buying stocks in April. It wasn't until May that I finally started to realize. And I went back and I looked at history, and I really started to pay very close attention to macroeconomics, and that's when I realized. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of people still get upset with some of us who tell the truth, because unfortunately you have these guys with 500,000 subscribers that are telling people to buy the dip.
Right.
And my thing is, you need people to tell the truth, because I really think we'll have no idea what's coming. And the reason why is because many people have never seen a bear market.
Right. Or they weren't paying attention the last time it did come around.
Yes.
And that's that's one of the things we talk about. By the way, Jay, you're a little static again. I'll just
yeah, sorry. I'm getting a new mic today, so we'll fix it, but
no worries, man.
I'm 100% getting a new mic today. Should be good now.
So the crypto, it is. The crypto market has never experienced a bear market. And we talk about 2014 was a bear market, 2018 was a bear market. That was a little economic pullback. Mm-hmm. It's never experienced a true, a bear market in the broader economy, because the economy's essentially more or less been great since 2010.
Yep.
And that's something you never hear anyone talking. More and more, a little bit, you're hearing people talk about it as they are having, especially in the crypto market, it's down. We're down probably 60% on aggregate right now.
Yeah.
So some people are having to finally admit that things aren't looking great right now. But in the stock market, if you head over there, I think this pullback that we've seen right now, I'm starting to hear things about, oh, yeah, this is it. That's the pullback, and we're about to turn and head around from here. We're at support levels. This is a mild correction as far as I'm concerned.
I said the same thing.
Yeah. So I could see this getting much worse in the stock market. Doesn't mean it has to.
All right.
But I don't think people align. They sort of plan for, it's always like they're looking at the sunny side of the equation. But really, you make your money when things look worse. So
yeah,
I could see a lot more downside in this market from here. What about you? I mean, as NASDAQ sitting wherever we're at right now, I can't recall exactly what the spot is, but because I do all my NASDAQ trading on Invesco QQQ, so I'm sitting here thinking 305 in my head. But
nice. I think you look at history, the average bear market, the SP normally goes down like 30%, and right now we're not even at 20, we're at like 15. Like we briefly touched 20 and then we bounce back up. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think we have so much further to fall, and I think it's kind of undeniable at this point. Right. And I don't want to sound like the mega bear, but it's like I say this on my channel all the time. Can somebody name me any good catalyst? Give me something. Yeah, like name me one good. There's nothing good happening. Nothing. Everything is bad. Like, can we be honest? Like, can you name anything good? Like, you really can't. There's nothing. There's nothing.
You look at all these tech companies. They're all either laying off or ceasing hiring right now.
Yep.
And when bad stuff starts hitting the fan, it starts in the tech side, and then comes over to the rest of the economy. So
that's exactly right. And the big red flag was when Elon came out. That's Mr. Risk. He came out and said we're getting rid of 10% of the workforce. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. So Flavius here says, I don't know if you're interested in this, but what's your opinion on the absolutely insane real estate market? Do you have any opinions on the real estate market?
Yeah, I think the Fed 100% created that. And I don't know too much about real estate, but I definitely think that there's going to be a huge crash. And that's probably when everything is really going to start coming down. And I just starting to feel bad for the people who bought at these insanely high prices. And it's going to come back on them,
Yeah.
But I think maybe Q3, Q4, you're going to see the housing market crash.
Yeah, I think you're already starting to see some numbers slowing down in the housing market. And, when the stock market is, basically doubling in 2 years or whatever it just did, maybe even less than that, especially those in the higher income classes, they feel wealthy. So they're more likely to spend. And the stock market is directly related to sort of your sense of wealth that you have.
Yes.
And when you start getting corrections like this, I think this is another thing people don't account for. When you start getting corrections, that's kind of, in my opinion, what the Fed is trying to do is sort of eliminate that feeling of wealth that people have, because then that is going to have a direct effect on their spending. because when you just lost 35% or 30% of your paper wealth anyway in a matter of a few months, well, all of a sudden you might rethink whether you need to go buy that second or that second or third vacation house and buy that second
Sentiment matters.
Car. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Sentiment matters.
Yeah, so it's kind of
100%.
all of this stuff definitely ties in together. Let's see if there's some other questions here.
Sure.
What's your prediction on ETH once the merge happens? Well, we'll kind of leave the. I don't know. Do you have any opinions on ETH and the merge and all that?
Yeah, I sure do. One thing I love doing, and I'm in the habit of, is admitting when I don't know something. So in this situation, I'll be honest, I have no idea. Right. So maybe you can answer.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't. The approach I take to everything is kind of very long-term focused. I don't give a crap what happens this month or next month. If we go down 50% today, I might glance at my phone at it and not think about it again, because I'm kind of thinking down the road. So whatever happens with the merge, I don't. Trading news in the crypto market is just about honestly, it's the silliest thing you can possibly do, because that's why the crypto market kind of does what it does, because it's a select few pros playing against a huge group of amateurs.
Yes.
And that's why people get taken to the bank every single time that these markets come around, because they act emotionally. You have legitimate pros out there capitalizing on the emotional retail market, and they know when to run it up, they know when to pull it back, and then they know when to rinse and repeat to extract the maximum amount of profit every single time.
I agree.
That's my opinion on the merge, is that it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. In fact, you should if you're thinking of doing anything with regards to ETH around the merge, whatever you're thinking is honestly probably the wrong thing, because these big time players, they know what your opinions are going to be and how on aggregate people will sort of invest around it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Regardless of what happens, I don't plan to sell my ETH regardless. So
right.
I mean, I'm not too sure about the merge. I've heard about it, but I'm not too knowledgeable about it. But I still 100% believe in the project. So
yeah, you're a little staticky again.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and I'm sorry about this.
No, no worries, man.
I actually tried to go and get a new mic yesterday, but the freaking store is closed. So yeah. But I promise next time we'll be good.
Let's see. Do you think it's a good thing though to move ETH to proof of stake? Yeah, I do. I kind of believe that proof of work puts you behind the crosshair of politicians, and that's never where you want to be. It's in general, it's just, if politicians don't know about you or aren't thinking about you, or they don't have people writing you letters about you, then you're probably going to be better off than the alternative. And proof of work is a target for, in my opinion, it's a target for politicians. Now that doesn't mean I do think that this might be in your wheelhouse. What do you think about crypto in terms of regulation?
I think it's.
Let me be more specific. How do you think regulation's coming for the crypto market? Let's put it that way. Do you think that's ultimately a good thing or a bad thing? I kind of take the opinion that ultimately it's going to be a good thing, but
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because I think the reason why a lot of people don't want to invest in it, and my followers are more traditional finance. I have a lot of traditional finance folks who think crypto's a scam. They don't like it. I think regulation is going to help crypto. I think it's going to make people a lot more optimistic that you're actually in a regulated market. Because one reason why I trust the stock market a lot more than crypto market is because the stock market is regulated. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some scams and shady things that happen in stocks too, but it's a lot more regulated and protected than crypto is. So I think crypto needs that. I mean, we've seen so many people get rugged. I mean, do I need to bring up Terra Luna? Do I need to bring up Squid Games token and all that stuff? Like, crypto needs regulation. Crypto has helped a lot of lives, but unfortunately, a lot of these scam coins have ruined a lot of lives. So yeah. I think regulation would be good.
And I think a lot of times the people that are getting rug pulled are the people that can honestly least afford to have it, pulled from them like that, because they tend to be, younger people and stuff like that, people trying to make a quick buck. And
Yeah.
a lot of, that goes for anything in the crypto market. That's what people are here for. But I think especially with a lot of people investing in these scam coins, they're going to be like college kids and stuff like that who don't have much money as it is, and just getting it taken from them repeatedly. I kind of think that institutions, we hear this meme in crypto that, oh, institutions are coming, they're here, and you just hear it constantly. Every single day in crypto you hear something about institutions are investing, they're FOMOing in. Institutions don't FOMO. These monolithic companies of board of directors they never FOMO. Tesla kind of may do some stuff like that, or MicroStrategy, because it's one guy kind of running the show and everyone else is just sort of at the whims of that person. But your average company's not FOMOing in, and I think they are avoiding crypto because they see things like UST, and they see the rug pulls, and and without any sort of regulation in the market, I think you're going to continue to see that they are going to be averse to entering the market. So that's go ahead.
Yeah, I think in stocks they FOMO. Maybe not crypto, but I know in stocks that they do. Institution. But I think it depends. I know hedge funds, when you had things like AMC and some of the stuff like that, a lot of the reason for that pump was actually hedge funds or the big institutional investors. And I don't know if you ever saw that clip. There's this popular clip on CNBC where this crazy guy, he's like a freaking hedge fund manager. He put a bunch of money in a company called Upstart, and the guy on CNBC asked him, "What does Upstart do? What do they do?" And he's like, you're breaking up. Cut the mic and all that." So that I was like, wow. So that just goes to show you, and some of these institutions do FOMO. At least in the stocks they do. It's quite crazy. But I definitely agree with you on one point that in crypto, I definitely don't think there are very many institutions in there because they're scared they're going to lose their money.
Right.
I definitely think that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably, and it probably all comes down to the protections that entering in securities that they have. Whereas entering into the crypto market, you're on your own once you're in there. There's no one coming to save you if you get wrecked.
Nope. Nobody's gonna bail you out. You just get wrecked.
Right. Exactly.
And Do Kwon runs away with your money.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if anyone else has anything.
Let's do it.
So someone says, what do you think is needed for the crypto market to become a more valuable asset class? What happens if I click this? Does it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
You can make them pop up. Yeah, StreamYard is dope.
All right.
What do you both think is needed for crypto to take its next step to become a more valuable asset class? Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could have an answer. I honestly don't even know. Maybe regulation. Maybe regulation is what's needed. Maybe more institutions backing it. Maybe crypto to have a more use case. Maybe more stores like maybe Apple or Amazon allow you to buy things with crypto. I don't know.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. So I think regulation, it's going to require, when you have at one point I think we got up to $3 trillion market cap. That's a lot of money. You need a lot of money to move the needle when you're at $3 trillion, and I don't think people appreciate that. People that are saying like, when Bitcoin was north of a billion, I can't remember how big Bitcoin's market cap was at its highest, but it takes a lot of money to move a multi-trillion-dollar asset. And people think that if you think retail is going to be driving it up to $10 trillion on their own, that's insane. You're going to need those institutions that are controlling that type of capital to be coming in. And ultimately, I think that's going to be regulation. The other thing I think it's going to be is use case. As long as, people want things that are valuable things have a use. Let's put it that way. So when we talk about Bitcoin adoption, it can't just constantly be the price of Bitcoin being driven up because of more investors in Bitcoin. That's essentially a Ponzi scheme. And I'm not saying that it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm saying that it has to have a use. So you have to be able to go out and use your Bitcoin. And that's going to be that has to be the next thing where Bitcoin starts to develop sort of a real world use.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of these things like DeFi, I think that's going to be a valuable space, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. That's true. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I just heard, before it starts, I heard the little static there. So.
Nope, appreciate it. The good thing is there's a quick fix for it, so we should be good now.
So, actually, I'm going to come back to this one about CBDCs. But how do you do your sort of analysis on stocks? Like, what do you look at? I mean, obviously fundamentals is probably something that you're looking at, but do you have anything specific that you do to, perform analysis on a company?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It is not easy. Let's see. You have to look at financials.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at quarterly reports, yearly reports. I mostly like to invest in companies that are profitable. I mostly like to invest in companies that have some sort of edge or advantage in their industry.
Right.
I pay close attention to management because management is extremely important. You definitely want to do a valuation model so you could do something like a discounted cash flow, which will help you essentially value a stock. And what I try to do when I look for stocks is I try to find, does this stock have like much more upside than it does downside? And then the other part I try to do, which a lot of people don't do, but they need to, is you always got to identify the risk in your investment, because no matter what you think, every company you invest in has some sort of risk. They all do. That's just how life works. So I do that as well. But yeah, overall, it can sometimes take me hours or days to analyze a stock. It'll take me a while, especially if I'm analyzing something like Google that has all these other businesses, right? Or maybe even like a Facebook, something like that. So yeah, that's mostly what I'm looking at. When it comes to stocks, I'm looking at how the business is doing, what I think the business is lacking in, right? Like Facebook, I can talk about that because there are some things about Facebook I like and some things that I don't like. Right. And yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. Is there a particular sector that you invest in primarily in the stock market, or that you specialize in, or do you kind of, sort of diversify? Like, for instance, I'm primarily, as far as stocks go, I'm primarily invested on, in the tech sector, because
same here.
Honestly, I don't understand a lot of the other, like Joanne Fabrics. I'm not going to go out there and, analyze the business model for Joanne Fabrics because I don't understand it. I can't relate to it. So I kind of avoid things like that. But,
Yeah.
So is that kind of what you said? Same here.
Yeah. So for me, I do. I don't stick to one sector. I really just find companies that I like. That's really the way that I do it. But there are some banks that I like. There are some like regular consumer staples I like. But yeah, overall, mostly tech. Like I like Apple, I like Microsoft, I like Google. Mostly tech. I think tech is the best. I think tech, if you could find the right ones, are going to be the biggest cash cows. That's just how I feel.
Right. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Let's see.
Yep.
Echoes. What are you looking to pick up after? Oh yeah, this is a good question. I'll pop that up there.
Echoes, what are you looking to pick up after you feel we fully correct? I'm assuming you're talking about stocks. And yeah, I've got a little bit of a watch list. I want to grab some Starbucks eventually. If it goes back to the 60s, I want that. I'm looking at Facebook. I am looking at Google. I own Google, but I do want to pick up more eventually. I think that's all I can think of. Maybe Apple if it goes low enough, because Apple is still really up there.
I saw recently there was a report out that sales on the App Store for Apple are actually slowing right now. So
yeah, that came up from Morgan Stanley. Yeah, and I actually made a video on that. I said the Q2 Apple can really tank, because Apple actually alluded in Q1, their Q1 earnings, that Q2 could be bad, even though they didn't give guidance.
Apple's more or less been holding the NASDAQ up.
Yeah, it was.
yeah, exactly. It has corrected.
Yeah, that's
How
true.
much is it down now? I haven't seen.
I forgot. I think it went up a little bit, but I know it went to the 130s at one point. It really, really tanked. Yeah. I think it's in the like high 140s now. Yeah. I mean, I could actually look real quick. It looks like it's at 145. So yeah, it looks like it's on that nasty downtrend going back to the gutter.
It's on the ride with everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And next week's going to be super volatile, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the chart, though, I mean, even back at the beginning of 2020, Apple was down at $60. So that's a lot of, there's a lot of, that's what I'm saying here. And, I think you're sort of in agreement in that sense that there's a lot of room to go down sort of from here. Whereas when you've gone up, some of your biggest companies in the world have gone up over 100% in 1 or 2 years. There's probably not a whole lot of upside.
Which is not normal.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, all right. Let's see. Sorry, I got to do better at staying up on these questions.
No, you're good.
If you see any, are you able to see the chat here?
No, I can't see it from my end. I do have my cell phone up, but I'm trying not to glance too much.
Okay.
I don't want to.
There's a way that I can let you see it, but I must have.
Yeah, no, you can highlight comments, so you can see the comments. I can't, but you can always highlight it, and then once you highlight it right here, I can see it.
Okay. So this one you already touched on, but we kind of talked about talked about this right when we first got in the room, and I think a lot of people didn't hear it. Basically, do you think that Bitcoin can go below 20K?
Yes, and I think it will. I know nobody wants to hear that. It hurts, but yeah, I keep telling people, you guys have no idea what pain we're about to see.
You're staticky again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea. Hold on. Turn that off. Okay. You guys have no idea what pain we're about to see. Like, in my opinion, obviously I could always be wrong. I don't want to come off as like a guru, like I for sure know, because nobody ever really for sure knows. But I really think we got some serious pain coming, and I don't think we've seen anything. I don't think we've seen a real crash yet, but I think we will.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. How long do you think the Fed will continue to raise interest rates?
Probably well into 2023.
Yeah,
for a while. It's going to be a while.
What do you have an opinion on the soft landing? Then I think you basically told us, but I keep hearing them trying to talk about we want to do this, but we want to have a soft landing with it, and I personally think that's insane and not going to happen, but. I don't know. Do you think we come in softly, or do you think this is a crash landing?
That's a bunch of bull crap. Yeah. That whole soft landing and that's a bunch of bull. It's not going to happen. It's going to be mean. It's going to be hard, and people are going to suffer. Right. And that's just the honest truth. I don't even know why they would say such a thing. But honestly, this Fed is weird. I have no faith in this Fed. I mean, Janet Yellen just came out and said we were wrong about inflation. Then she comes out and says, well, and I know she's not a part of the Fed, but she was, just so people know, she was a Fed chair at one point in like 2018, I think. So just so people know that. But she's the Secretary of the Treasury now. She basically came out and said, I forgot. She said something else. She's been running her mouth a lot about how wrong they've been. And we know that Jerome Powell has been wrong. And yeah, I don't believe anything they say. I mean, I think they're going to eventually be able to fix things, but.
Do you think that's as a result of to me, we kind of talked a bit before about like the political side of things, and I've become apolitical in a sense in that I don't care who's doing what. I just sort of look at what it is now. And I feel like the Biden administration, maybe they sort of underestimated maybe how important inflation was going to be in terms of, even, I don't know if they misinterpreted it in terms of its actual economic impact, or if they interpreted how much people would care about it. It doesn't matter what the reasons that they misinterpreted, but they weren't really concerned about it as much early. And now it seems like they're shifting over towards, let's focus on inflation. Let's get this under control.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is going to sting, but this administration doesn't understand economics. That's what I honestly think. I really think that. Obviously, some people in their administration do, like obviously Janet Yellen does and people like that, but this is not a good administration for what we're going through. And if you remember, Biden originally also, him in the White House were downplaying inflation too. And they did that for a very long time, and now inflation's about to affect their chances of winning the midterm. It's crazy. So, yeah, I just have no faith in these people. I really don't. It's some scary. That's another thing that I'll try to tell people. We are in some very scary times, and I'm not confident that the Fed is forget a soft landing. I'm not even confident they're going to be able to bring down inflation. I'm really not. Yeah. I'm actually of the opinion that they need to hike rates higher. Like they need to go higher with the rate hikes. Like
just
I don't even think
knock it clean out.
Yeah, Jim Cramer said it best, and I agree with him. Jim Cramer said they should come out and say we're doing 100 basis points and just call it. I agree. Get it over with, because the rate they're going right now, in my opinion, we're not going under 4% inflation. No way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's their stated goal is what, 2%, or that's like the baseline.
I think it was 4% by the end of the year, and then eventually back to 2%. But right. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that may just be the kind of thing where, that's just not the world we live in anymore, and you can't. That can't be your expectation. But the other thing they have to worry about is running into stagflation. Then, right? If they're not controlling the interest rates, and we're moving towards a slowing economy. By the way, 15 likes. I mean, that's just wrong.
Like the video. Here, let me like the video. I didn't even like the video. Look at that.
I just saw that here.
Like the video, folks. Get those likes up. Help the algorithm out. Help us out. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. So that's kind of something that at least has to be considered. And do you want to explain what stagflation is for those out there that may or may not know?
Yeah, you can do it. I understand it, but
yeah, I mean, it's just I just meant the simple definition is essentially a recessionary economy or an economy that's slowing in addition to runaway inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need to go into the deep roots of what stagflation is, just kind of the basic definition.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll be honest. Yeah, I have a very basic understanding of it. I'm not, I don't have no complicated understanding of it, but very basic. But yeah.
No, I think your understanding of it's better than your, giving yourself credit for. Because I've listened to a few of your videos, and a lot of what you're saying about the economy is, really spot on, and more importantly, I think it's valuable to the space because the things that you're saying are sort of coming from a realistic place, a realistic point of analysis. And that is just something that this entire space is just absolutely devoid of.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I forgot to put the link to your video. Someone just said here.
Oh, no worries. I will do it. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll go in and edit that after this. Usually, there's a lot of people that watch the channel are from Europe here, and so they may or may not be on right now. But usually,
or I guess they could just click my profile in the chat if that's possible. I don't even know if you could do that. I think you can. But yeah, just type in "Echoes from Above" on YouTube, and my channel will pop up. Yeah, the algorithm likes me finally.
Hey, Jay, you're echoing a bit again.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. I'll fix that.
You have any opinions on Tesla?
Yes, I'm personally, and you shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm waiting for Tesla to go to 500 or lower, and I strongly believe that it will. If it doesn't, it's fine because I still own plenty of Tesla. I am really bullish on it. I love the company, but I'm also realistic. I'm not one of those people like Ross Gerber telling people, buy Tesla at $1,000. Like, I'm just, no, I'm not. Like, I understand that by traditional valuation metrics, Tesla at 1,900 was overvalued. I think it's finally coming down to a more reasonable valuation. And honestly, I think Elon is going to kill that stock. I really do. I think this guy is on a rampage. He won't shut up. And I mean, I like Elon, right? But I think he's going to crash his stock. I would not be surprised.
So what's your, what you think, just because of the fact that he's always running his mouth about something, or?
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of stupid things he's doing. He's buying Twitter, which is so dumb. Not good for Tesla shareholders. I still don't know why he's doing that. Right. Now he's laying off workers. He keeps running his mouth on Twitter about any and everything. It's like, just shut up. Like, I mean, I get it. It's as part of his marketing. Like, don't shut up, but just chill out a little bit. And then what's scaring me even more is we're starting to get a little bit of an indication that they might miss earnings. And if they miss earnings, that stock is going to die.
Right.
And it could happen. And like I said, I don't want people to think that I'm a Tesla bear because I'm not. I'm just realistic. I love Tesla. I think it has a very bright future. But in this time that we're in and with this crazy CEO who's doing things that make no sense, I'm just not so sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think where did you say that you think is a good? Sorry, I was adding your link to the description here. So
Oh, thank you.
said,
No problem.
You said around 500 was where.
Yeah, I did a discounted cash flow, and obviously you need more than that to research a company. But I looked at Tesla's other businesses. They got an energy business and all that stuff. And my DCF came at $724 as a fair value for the company. But my average cost in Tesla is already $700. So I kind of want to get a little bit lower. And this is just really a gut feeling for me. You know, I live by the opinion that there's always another play. So if I'm not able to get Tesla at the price I want it, fine. I'll just buy another stock. I'll go buy Facebook or something else that I feel is undervalued. But for me, $500 is my target price for buying Tesla. If Tesla goes to 500, I'll buy it.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
Do you think it will go down that far?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I do. And I know a lot of Tesla bulls don't like to hear that, but I do.
All right. So Yoon says, do you think it's better to weight our portfolios heavily into dividend stocks during a bear market or have the mindset of value investor instead of growth?
Yeah, I don't subscribe to any of those. I think the best thing you could do. Well, let me say this: I'm not that big of a fan of dividend stocks. I mean, I'm sure that's controversial. Some people are, but just my opinion. You get taxed on it, so that just for me, not really all that interested. For me, I'm mostly index fund investor. I think you should put your money in index funds. Stock picking is okay, but historically, people suck at picking stocks.
Right.
And the hedge funds and the professionals are even worse. They're not good at picking stocks either. So I honestly think the best thing you can do for the long term is put your money into a index fund, preferably something like an S&P 500 index fund. That's what I honestly think. Now, in terms of investing in actual stocks, for me, it doesn't matter whether it's growth or value, right? Because Tesla is a growth stock, and I like Tesla. And then you've got other companies that I'm invested in that are more so on the value side. And it doesn't matter. If it's a good company, that's what I look for. I look for a good company where I'm going to get a return on my money. Some value stocks are going to do that for me, and some growth stocks are going to do that for me. Now, the stocks I think you should stay away from in this environment are the YouTube stocks, the small cap, speculative, Kathy Woods, space alien, spaceship, moon cowboy stocks. Stay away from that.
Yeah.
Palantir.
So basically the crypto market. All right.
Crypto's not so bad.
Yeah. So how would you, not financial advice, but how would you sort of, if you were someone who had a bunch of cash sitting on the sideline right now, how would you go about structuring that in terms of entering the market? Would you be waiting right now? Would you be, and we're talking about the stock market here. How, would you just be sitting on the sideline waiting, or would you be entering in slowly?
Yeah, just for full disclosure, I have more cash on the sideline than I've ever had in my life. Seriously. Mm-hmm. Like normally I'm aggressive investing, but I'm just so sure of what's coming. I'm mostly cash. Well, I'm 20% cash, but still that's a lot of cash for me. But for me, when I decide to buy, I'm going to slowly scale in. And that's really how you should buy stocks. You should never do this all in, buy the dip, put all my money in at one time. Like you should never do that because stocks are always going to be volatile. You slowly scale in and you watch the stock closely and look at the quarters, like the quarterly report, and make sure that the stock is doing well. Like for me, Facebook is a stock that I'm closely looking at. Right. And their last quarterly report was okay. And I want to go ahead and see a few more quarterly reports before I decide to make a position in it, as well as the macroeconomics too. But yeah, with stocks, when you're buying stocks, you always got to remember the rules. And one of the rules is you definitely don't want to put all your money in at once. You just slowly scale in and just always remember, even if you have a little bit of money in a stock and it runs up, there's always another play. Don't worry about it. We're here to make money. There's so many great companies in the stock market.
Yeah, FOMO is every investor's worst enemy.
Exactly. Emotions.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So what about it with regards to the crypto market? Would you be waiting right now or, because a lot of this stuff is down. Cardano, for instance, it's probably, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's probably 80%, 75 to 80%, if not more.
Yeah, that's about how much I've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten wrecked in that one.
Yeah.
I'm. Mhm.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, would you be looking to get into Cardano, or whatever each individual thinks their the top assets are? Would you be looking to get into those right now, or would you be waiting?
Yeah, for me, I'm not even buying Cardano. I'm waiting because we know the last bull run, a lot of altcoins didn't make it. So I'm not saying I'm not bullish on Cardano, but I'm just going to wait a little bit. The only cryptos I'm interested in buying at this point is Bitcoin and
Jay,
Ethereum.
you're static.
Okay.
Again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the only cryptos that I'm interested in buying is Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Right.
That's really it for me.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting.
That's kind of the approach. The whole channel, the whole reason that I started the channel was sort of to try and, because I kept hearing, for a long time I was in crypto, but I wasn't really watching YouTube. And then I started getting into it a little bit, and I just kept hearing all this terrible advice, people just making literally the worst possible advice, saying, buy this right now after it had just gone up, 1,000% in the last month or so. And I kind of think in the bear market, you have to look to fundamentals. Fundamentals become the name of the game. All the speculative stuff, that's what's going to get absolutely annihilated. And that's frankly why you see tech get hit harder, I think, in the bear markets, because that's where all the retail money goes. That's where all, a lot of the, as you said, institutions FOMO in on that side of the market. And they probably often are FOMOing into the tech side because it's sexier than, old industry and things like that.
Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
Steel mills.
Exactly.
Railroads.
Yeah. I focus on, Eastern European industrial complexes is my I'm saying that's probably how you make money, though, is by having some particular niche like that and then knowing everything there is to know about it more than anyone else out there does.
Definitely can. That's pretty much how Warren Buffett invests. So yeah.
Exactly. So any thought, this is kind of out there, but any thoughts on trading corporate bonds? That's not something I do or really know much about.
Yeah, for me, I'm not interested in bonds at all. I'm not interested in corporate or municipal. Not something I've ever really been interested in. I know I spoke to a financial advisor before, and he was kind of telling me like bonds are good, and he buys bonds, and all his clients buy bonds, but I'm just not interested.
Sorry, I fell asleep while.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the return? I mean, we live. The economy is now such that, it's sort of an economy of exponential gain, and to look at something with returns like that, it just isn't worth. I just don't think it's worth.
What is it, like 3%? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, if you're in a certain, you're not even catching inflation rates there. Not even close to catching inflation rates. So.
Yeah, not in this market.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
I agree.
All right. Well, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff we talked about. So it seems like a good place to wrap up then.
Sure.
I really appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a great discussion. We'd love to have you again.
Yeah, this was awesome, and I promise next time I will have a much better mic. It will actually look very similar to yours. I'm going to get that type of mic, so
yeah,
be ready for that.
This thing's been great. I mean,
nice.
I've had some troubles with Zoom, but other than that, and that's probably a Zoom problem, but
yeah, probably.
So yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Well, let me say this. Thank you so much for having me. I want to make sure I thank you. Really appreciate it. It's definitely been an honor and a privilege, and you're a very cool guy. So
thanks, man.
I will definitely tell my followers to subscribe to your channel, and I will be watching your channel from now on.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you could check out Echoes from Above. It might not be up there yet, but I'm going to put his link in the description below. And until next time, guys, see you.
See ya.